Girl, if you go to a music festival, you are entering the Hunger Games. It's giving Panem.
Yeah.
Like
It's giving
the cornucopia.
It's giving quarter quell. It's
Yes.
giving a new challenge every hour.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Inherently Gay, the culture podcast where we break down everything relating to identity and culture to, being queer and that adjacent. My name is Justin Dallas and this is the Glee episode. So that means we are paying tribute to everything, related to concerts, music festivals, and everything musically in between. I'm so excited. Today, I'm welcoming Melina Bravo. She is an icon, a queen, a Pisces goddess. She is a concert goer and a professional music festival attender. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Enthusiast. I don't want to make it a profession.
Okay, well, listen, girl. You went to, so in 2023, how many festivals did you go to?
7 festivals.
Okay.
And then
Give me the rundown. Yeah.
Okay. The number I like to put down is how many days of the year I spent at an event relating to music. And the tally for 2023 was roughly 60.
Oh my God. That's honestly, if I could live that dream, I would. I'm trying to listen. I'm manifesting it. I'm trying to go to more concerts and festivals. Today I'm repping, because it is the Glee episode, I'm repping my Beyonce shirt, my queen.
Iconic.
I'm wearing my, American uniform. This is the people's uniform. I went to Beyonce this past summer in London. Y'all, I have never cried at a concert before, but I did up close and personal. So I went to London. It was a treat for me and my brother. We were like front row. I was pretending that she was singing directly to me.
She was.
She looked at me and she was like, she's a diva. That's a diva right there. But you got to go to, did you go to Beyonce or?
Oh, I wish.
Okay.
No, I did not go to Beyonce. I wanted to. Unfortunately, the budget just wasn't budgeting.
Yeah, that's true.
But through my fairy godmothers, I made it to Taylor Swift. So.
Okay, how was that? So Beyonce and Taylor, they were the two concerts to go to. It was like you were House Beyonce or House Taylor, or lucky enough to go to both. So tell me about that.
I have to disclaim, I am not a Swiftie. I am associated with a lot of them, and I respect them. Heart out to them. I wish I was at Beyonce. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say the production value on both were immaculate. Okay. Truly, every dollar you spent was worth it for any of those two shows. So we don't have to pit women against each other.
Queens.
Both queens.
When they come together and they have a joint slay, they're queens. I grew up watching Beyonce. I grew up watching Destiny's Child. They were my first ever, I'm not a stan for anybody, stan culture, but my very first ever CD was Destiny's Child. It was me and my 2 cousins, Leslie and John, we all got the Destiny's Child CD. Oh. They were my queens, them and Britney Spears. But it's always been a lifelong goal to see Beyonce in concert. And it was just an emotional concert. I cried, I lived, I laughed, I loved, I thrived, I slayed, I danced. And we got to do it in London. So it was very magnificent. But yeah, Taylor, I would have loved to see Taylor. The only thing is just I recently became a Swiftie in the past couple years.
Really?
The Midnight's album, she got me through things. She knew it. This was the year of Anti-Hero, 2023. Okay. I was in my Anti-Hero bag, Okay. Midnight's become my afternoon, very much that. But yeah, no, that's great that you got to see them. What about, some of the other festivals that you went to? I saw I'm wearing my Beyonce shirt. You got your ACL swag on.
Funny enough, I've been to ACL. This upcoming 2024 season is going to be my 15th, 16th iteration of ACL.
Oh my God.
Just because I go both weekends since, they've started that process. But For sure. I've never bought any of the ACL merch, and this is the year. But yeah, no, it's just, I'm excited. Lineups are coming out for other festivals, speculations coming around. As of today's recording, Bonnaroo dropped their lineup, Boston Calling dropped their lineup. So I can do some predictions if you want predictions. I Hopefully I'm right. Ed Sheeran might be there.
Not Ed Sheeran. Oh my god.
I don't know how you feel about them, but
Listen, I don't dislike him. I don't like hate him. It's just I don't know. I don't really know him that well. I mean, the shape of you, or what is it? The shape of the body of water.
we
What?
don't need to know. We don't need to know the shape of anything.
Anyways, great shapes, fabulous. Like Aretha Franklin said, lovely gowns,
Yeah.
lovely gowns.
Lovely gowns.
But no, you're wearing ACL Fest. I grew up going to ACL a lot, so
Yeah.
I'm lucky to like be from Austin, the live music capital of the world. So like,
Iconic.
so I grew up going to music festivals, and I like got all my chaos and like all my demon time out very young. Like the being there from dawn, like from dusk to dawn.
Yeah.
What kind of like got you into like your love of going to festivals and concerts?
Warped Tour.
We're talking.
Easily. I mean, what little emo kid didn't go to like Warped Tour, I have to give him a lot of props for the amount of shows that I go to now because RIP,
Oh my gosh, I
gone but not forgotten.
I've always wanted to go, and I don't think I was ever allowed, just because it was like
Yeah.
it was like emo and scream and like
Yeah.
all of that stuff, but I loved it. Like I was an emo kid at heart. Like I
Mhm.
was an emo kid. I was an indie sleaze kid. So I started going like in later years of high school and college to Austin City Limits, but I never got to go to Warped Tour, and then they like banned it or they canceled it.
Yeah, it stopped going on a few years back, but I don't know, it's just one of those things where I mean, honest, I was too young to be there if I'm being honest. But of the festivals is the most kid friendliest. You literally had a place where you can drop off your parents.
Yeah.
But yeah, me being a little 12-year-old little gal,
12. Oh my
little gal.
That's a child.
That's a child.
That's a child. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
so I've always wanted to go, but it's coming back. Like there's so many niche festivals now. Like this past year we went to Just Like Heaven in
Oh.
Pasadena, California, which is, an indie sleaze festival. It had Yeahs, Future Islands, MGMT, Azalea Banks, Hot Chip. But there's other in like niche festivals.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's the cool thing about the way festivals are leaning towards now. They're going very niche, very particular. So, for example, Besame Mucho is a festival that's coming in to Austin. I went to their inaugural year. They're coming into Austin this coming year. It's gonna be freaking great.
Yeah.
Stick New World, another one for
What's that one?
that one's more for people of older generation. So
Okay.
think like Gen X, I guess.
Okay.
They're indie sleaze.
Okay, listen, I can't throw shade on, the older generations, because I hate to admit it, but yes, I identify governmentally as a millennial,
Yeah.
and I don't have the willpower like I did when I was younger. Like, okay, can we talk about going to festivals
Okay.
at an older age rather than a younger age? I feel like I was a little gremlin when I was younger, and I would fight my way to the front. I would get there, as soon as the gates opened. Now I need to drink like a bottle of Pedialyte and, take Advil and ibuprofen before that morning of, just to make sure. And if we're talking about like fighting all the way to the front, like I'm in the back, like
Yeah.
what is your approach?
Okay. So it's hard because I am a person of 5 foot. I have to have a good spot in order to enjoy a show. If not, I'm just seeing the back of someone's neck, usually a white man.
Why are you 6 foot at the front? Oh my god.
No, it's just unfortunately it's just the burden I bear. So I have to make it to the front. But I mean, it just you have to pick your battles.
Yeah.
You have to pick your battles. I will camp out.
Okay.
There's moments where I feel that a show is worth it, and I have to be looking at the eyes of the artist. So I will get there early enough to camp out at the barricade and get a good spot. And then there's sometimes where I'm just like, it's fine. I'm over it. I'll just be in the back. But it's hard being an older person at a festival or a show, when you see all these people you used to be just, elbowing themselves to the front of a barricade. But,
Yes.
we were all there at one point, and I think that's something we all have to kind of like make sure to remember, like pass the torch down.
Yeah, it's a canon event. It's giving very much like when one supreme rises, the old one fades away. Because I'm in the same vein. I think if it's someone that I really love or someone who I'm just super excited to see, yeah, like I'll make my way up to the front. Like I think this past year last summer I saw Lord. This year I saw SZA and the Yeah Yeah Yeahs and MGMT. In Kale Uchis, and I like worked my way to the front
Yeah.
because they're these people who don't normally tour a lot, and I'm like, if I'm gonna see them, I'm gonna see them. But other concerts, I'm totally fine, standing in the bag, watching from afar, relaxing.
Yeah.
Because I want to say that like music festivals are very akin to the Hunger Games. Girl, if you go to a music festival, you are entering the Hunger Games. It's giving Panem.
Yeah.
Like
It's
the
giving
cornucopia.
it's giving quarter quell. It's
Yes.
giving a new challenge every hour.
It's okay, people are dropping like flies. It's like before they announce, the next set, it's like these are the fallen tributes. It's like exactly like what are your, do's and don'ts as, someone who's been to so many music festivals like in their life? You obviously know the mistakes you've learned, you've grown.
Yeah.
What are the do's and don'ts?
Okay. This is a great question, and it will be answered and heard upon fallen ears. Because when you're young,
Yes.
no one can tell you anything.
Okay, you're invincible.
You're invincible. There's no risk assessment. But like if you're not accustomed to certain things, do not try them at a festival. Try them at home and find your limit. But that's not what people do. People just try things to try things because someone offered them something. What it is, we will not say, but fill in the blank.
Fill in the blank. Okay, but in terms of like, because it is the Hunger Games, it's very, do or die. What are you thinking about in terms of like hydration? Like how, like obviously you want to stay hydrated. I've seen so many people pass out in festivals waiting in line. Like when do you drink water? When do you go to the bathroom? Like what are your do's and don'ts?
In the year of 2024, no longer the year of Barbie, unfortunately, but in the year 2024, hydrate. And this is something I not the fan of, like the big fanist of, but I started drinking triple the amount of water weeks leading into the like big festivals that I'm going to, just because I want my body to be at its max hydration.
Yes.
I don't want to go into a deficit at a festival. And then you just have to be smart about like what you're consuming, whether it be alcohol, whether it be illicit like stuff. You just got to be careful about what you put into your body. And personally, I just drink all the alcohol in the world once I'm there, and then once I'm home, I drink all the water just to offset it for the next day. Because at the end of the day, if it's a multi-day festival, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you have to make sure you're ready for the next day. So hydration is key. Comfort is also key. What you wear is so important.
Yes.
And I love all the fashion we get at festivals. But half of the time I'm looking at them and thinking, are you comfortable?
Listen, people think they're going to the Met Gala, which, I mean, I always love turning a look. I love looking cute. 11 a.m. to maybe 1 p.m., like, that's totally fine. But you are going in drones of people, and there's going to be a lot of time we're going to be walking across the stadium, walking across the campgrounds. Your feet are going to be sore. Like, wear, I'm not saying wear some, like, orthopedics, like, Skechers, it's the S. Like, wear
I mean, if people want to wear the Hokas, they can wear the Hokas.
I mean, yeah, do you, but also, like, as a survival, it's giving very, like, Ned's Declassified, but, like, as a survival guide, like, wear comfortable shoes, be comfy, but you can be cute and comfy.
Yeah, there's definitely a line, but as someone who's, like, my goal at festivals is always to see everyone who I want to see. And for me personally, I
Mm-hmm.
need to be at the most comfort level. So I will always pick comfort over fashion just because my goal is set
Yes.
on surviving the entirety of the festival. I mean, there's some festivals that are so much easier than others as well. Um, so that's like another thing to consider: heat, climate, humidity.
Yeah. And then you kind of like talked about that, like making sure you want to see who you want to see. Can we just talk about the injustice of a lot of festivals putting all of your faves on at the same time? It's treacherous, it's evil, but it happens. It sucks because it's like I want to see one person and I want to see this other person, but they go on at the same time. And a lot of mistakes people make is like, oh, I'll just go see the other one. And then they don't realize it's like a 20-minute walk to the other stadium.
Yeah. No, I think planning, especially if it's your first time at a certain festival,
Yeah.
knowing the layout, knowing how long it takes you to walk, not just yourself, but like how crowded is it going to be? Are there going to be bottlenecks?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's an amassed amount of people in this festival, hypothetically speaking, and what may take you 10 minutes on a regular day might take you 30 minutes on a crowded festival day, especially if it's someone that rivals each other. Like coming to mind, I'm thinking of 2019 ACL, Casey Musgraves versus Lizzo, because Casey Musgrave went on right before Lizzo,
That's
and
right.
there was that huge stampede going into the Honda stage, which was so small compared to what Lizzo had at that time amassed. And yeah, like no, easily any other set time would have been an easy walk, but it was a
Mhm.
fight. It was a true fight for your lungs, for your legs, for your friends. Like,
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's also like it's festivals are fun. I think like the difference between going to like a concert where it's just one artist and an opener versus a festival is like concerts. I don't mind going like by myself or with like a few, like one friend or two friends, because we all love that artist. We're going for a
Yeah,
reason.
yeah,
For music festivals, I think it's really fun to go like in a big group or socially go with a bunch of friends. Like
yeah,
it's an experience, and I think like because there's so many people, you have to kind of decide like, okay, the morning of, the day of, think about who you want to go see, what you want to do, where you're planning on spending the day. And I cannot stress this enough. Again, for the Hunger Games girlies out there, have a designated meeting spot.
yeah,
You know, create your own language if you have to. If you have to say, meet by that one red flag that has 3 stars next to the water and then porta potties, go there. Make sure y'all have an escape route, an action. That way, when the festival is done and over with and there's like thousands of people leaving the festival gates, you know where to meet your folks at. Please do not wait till the end and try to text people, because every single festival I've been to, we don't have service.
yeah.
Yeah, it's always crazy. And then in terms of like taking care of yourself and dropping like flies, money does not exist when you're at a festival to me, because it's like they're gonna charge $50 for food. They're gonna charge whatever they want for food, and it's
Yeah,
like you have to eat. You have to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Like,
true.
do not be that person that gets drunk or high too fast, and then you're like falling down and you're having to go to the medical tent
Before the headliner.
before the headliner. I would be so mad, y'all, if I waited all day and was at the gates and then 30 minutes before the artist came on, I collapsed because
Oh,
I would not recover. Honestly, I would not recover. I would not show my face. But it happens, so make sure you take
it
care of
happens
yourself.
to the best of us, but again, listen to your body.
Exactly.
Hydrate, feed yourself, put some sunscreen on, have a little fan, like know thyself.
Yeah, I just had an episode when we were talking about self-care. So like take that advice of self-care, take care of yourself, take care of your body, because it gets intense, y'all. Like especially if you are that person who's going to the front of the gates, front of the lines, and you're waiting for your favorite artist, it gets super intense, because as it gets closer and closer to that main act coming on, the crowds just push in and go closer and closer. And if you're at the front, you're literally it's giving very much like Game of Thrones, like Hodor, like you're manning the line with your friends. You're holding onto that rail. You're holding onto the front. Your arms are locked in each other, and it's giving very much like hold the door, like don't break, don't break, and like people are gonna push, and like if you're passing out, we're having to get medical tents. People come in, but it gets intense if you're in the front.
That's when you realize who your true friends are.
Okay.
Because there's some who are like, all right, sucks to suck.
No, okay, so I want to talk about like horror stories. Like I've been to ACL before. I've been to like Lollapalooza before, and I've had people,
Yeah.
I was with up at the front and they passed out, and I'm just like, damn girl, I'm gonna go with you and I'm gonna make sure you're good.
Yeah.
Let's get you food and stuff. But yeah, what are like some horror stories that you've kind of like experienced or seen?
Yeah, no, it's really interesting to think about because we're living in a post asteroid world.
Oh,
So there's a lot more consciousness around like people dropping like flies.
yeah.
Artists will constantly be stopping their shows to make sure that people are okay. But, funny enough, this past year, I went to Lollapalooza and I just saw so many girls, little, like small girls. I'm sure they were high schoolers, dropping, like literally dropping like flies. They were all being carried away, very like, in a sense, as if they were like bags of like dirt or something. Like people throwing them over their shoulders, some of them being carried by their arms, like projectile, like vomiting in front of us. Like it was the most ridiculous, like moment I've ever experienced at a festival, considering that the person who was headlining was Lana Del Rey. Like we were at a Lana Del Rey show.
But that makes perfect sense because Lana Del Rey have like, you're either like, a 120-pound gay twink who's like living for her, or like a girl who like, might just pass out and is not eating and
True, but like who thinks to get that messed up for Lana Del Rey? I'd be like, all right, Tame Impala, Kendrick Lamar,
yeah.
things that are more of that vein.
Yeah.
But for like indie girl, I was like, oh, okay, this is a lot. But I don't know. That was definitely an experience to see so many young girls just dropping. But it was really nice to see people making sure they were okay. I was like, can you like faith, like put my faith in humanity again, but also
Yeah.
like, why are we here? Why did we get to this point?
Yeah.
Horror stories in particular. Other than that, I had a friend pass out after a Phoenix set at ACL, and it was the first and only time I've ever been in the medical tent.
Oh my god.
And I, wanted to make sure they were okay, but like they were so good throughout the entire set, and like right at the very end,
Mhm.
they just, I'm not feeling good.
Listen, if you were a good friend and you've ever been to a festival and escorted out your friend with the medical team, you went with them to make sure they were good. You deserve, a veteran discount. You get your Purple Heart, you get your service drawn. We'll like wave our flag for you. Like that is, it's hard, but it's no like small act. You do that for your friends and stuff.
Oh, definitely. And they were such a trooper, and they were so fine. But of course, it became a liability for the festival. We had to make sure they were completely fine and cleared by the medical tent. But you know what? The great thing is they were cleared, and we got to see SZA afterwards.
Yeah.
So it worked out. It was a great, great story to tell. But in the moment, it was very scary.
It's giving Finnick carrying Mags over his shoulder in
Yes.
Hunger Games in the corner quote.
I wish. Oh, and we were close to the barricade, so we were like, wow, we really can't get out of this crowd because everybody was crowding for SZA.
Yeah.
And thankfully, because we were so close to the barricade, they just ended up getting, pushed over through the kindness of people's hearts.
I will say, like, depending on like what concert or what artist you're seeing, it definitely like creates a vibe of the
Yeah,
audience. So like
yeah.
I went to Carly Rae Jepsen,
Oof.
and she just radiates good energy,
Yeah.
bops, underrated hyper like pop queen. All of her audience was just good vibes. Like
Yeah.
I had such a great time going. You could just feel the love. And when someone did like pass out, like she made sure they were okay. Everybody created like an opening for them.
Mm-hmm.
Considering I went to like maybe another concert or another audience, and like people would just like you're getting stomped on. It's like R.I.P. Like someone
Yeah.
has fallen, you know?
Yeah. Picture in the sky with their number of the district.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, that's super exciting. Like I think festivals are, they're a beast. Like it's a Hunger Games, like we're saying.
Yeah, no. I think concert etiquette is something that slowly but surely is coming back. There was a couple years there where I was like, we don't have an etiquette anymore.
Hmm.
But like I said, we're living in a post asteroid world and people are starting to think again, thankfully. Like if someone falls, pick them up.
Yeah.
Keynote number one. And little by little, I do see it coming back. So thankfully the kids are all right.
Awesome. And then I want to talk about a little, um, what kind of like what kind of festivals do you want to go to in the future? Like you've been to, I mean, I feel like you've been to so many and you've seen so many artists. Like
Yeah.
who would you want to see next?
Ah, that's always a hard one. There's so many people to see. As many people have already seen. There's always so many. I just want a time machine that lets me go back into the past to get all the ones that I wish I was there. But I guess looking forward in the future, really enough, Coldplay. I've never seen Coldplay. I was a definitely Coldplay fan when I was a youth,
Mhm.
so they're on definitely on the bucket list. I need to see Lord again. I want a time machine to take me back to Melodrama to see
Yeah.
Lord in 2017.
I want to see Lord at that concert where she shushed people. Like
Ah,
I want to be shushed by Lord. Like we saw her in Barcelona,
yeah,
and that was so good. Like it was just very out of this world. She was a performer, and at that festival too. Like I've never seen I've never seen differences of class and class privilege when I'm not at a music festival. Like music festivals have it was the first time I saw like really like classism in your face cuz I was like, "Damn, like these people like you're in GA and then you're all squished like sardines and then you see, VIP and platinum just, swinging on by and I'm like, "Damn, I wish that was me."
that's the show we want. We want a show where everyone's equal.
Listen, we are fighting for equality. We all deserve to get shushed by Lord, together. But yeah, no, it's crazy. I think me being older and me like going to festivals at an older age, I'm like, okay, I want to go to a festival if I can go like, VIP or something like that where I'm not fighting.
Yeah, I mean, but it's I don't know. I have mixed emotion about
I
this.
know, I know, I know.
It's like you need to fight.
And you want to be with the community. It's like
Yeah,
I want to feel like I earned, listening to SZA,
exactly. It's like that's the biggest difference between like a concert and a festival. Like concerts, like
Hmm.
unless you get like a balcony moment, but like GA, you're all GA. You're all standing there shoulder to shoulder, crying your eyes out
Yeah.
to whatever artist you're viewing, and you're all like experiencing a moment together. But at festivals, you're like, all right, cool, we're all GA, but also there's like platinum and VIP platinum in front of us, and it changes the experience, and that's I think what I chase. I chase a certain experience.
Okay, yeah, no, I think yeah, I struggle too because I'm like I want that like luxury of like going to like an AC bathroom. I'm like I want to go to like go to a food court or a bar that doesn't have lines around the thing, but it's just like there's just something you can't explain whenever you're like at a concert, at a festival, GA, or just like with everybody. You meet
Yeah.
so many people. Like there's like such a strong sense of community. Like whenever you're at the festivals, but you've been to like so many different types of festivals and
Yeah.
different kinds. What what kind of vibe does like each festival give off? Like let's kind of just like talk about a couple festivals and then think about like what vibe it would give off. So
Okay.
like Coachella, I've never been to Coachella, but like I'm kind of too scared. Like it's so big. It doesn't feel like my vibe. It kind of feels more like an influencer vibe. Like I'd be
Mhm.
like I feel like people go just because it's Coachella, not because it's like
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah. I can't speak upon it because I've never been, but I'm also not interested in going.
Yeah, same.
I think every time I see it, I enjoy being on the couch because they do Couchella,
Mm-hmm.
and either Hulu or YouTube or whoever buys the streaming rights for it that year puts on a great show. And I think that's going to be my best experience at a Coachella, just
Mm-hmm.
seeing the live streams. But every time I see the crowds, they just look so dead.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm just like, that's nice because you're, there, but are you really enjoying the show?
yeah.
Are you really there? And I think the crowd is the most pertinent point of any festival
Mm.
because it really drives it. And I didn't learn that until I went to international festivals.
Yes.
Like the minute I left the US, eyes were open.
Mm-hmm.
And not to talk shit about like festivals, US crowds. Y'all are great. I love y'all. We find community where we are at. But the intensity of the crowds outside of the US is something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Like we went to Primavera together. Weirdly enough, didn't plan it, but we ended up there together.
Yeah.
And can you not agree that those crowds were insane, like truly insane compared
Yeah.
to what we get here?
Everybody was so nice, and like I was meeting people from like all over. Like I met someone from like Brazil, Portugal, France, Canada, and like it was so it's really cool getting to see like people from all over the world,
Yeah.
like just coming together, and you don't even speak the same language, but y'all all are here to see this artist,
Yeah.
and y'all all like just really heavy vibe with the music.
Yeah, no, definitely. And just like the level of intensity of the want to see an artist just grows because it's a scarcity mindset. Like these artists that we get in the US, we are like, oh, if I don't see them this year, I'll see them at the next tour because they're going to definitely come back. Versus when you go international, we're like, oh, we don't get them every year. We get them every other year or every other year.
Yeah.
And so we have to enjoy this moment for what it is right now, which
Yeah.
is why that's my theory of why shows are just a bit more better somewhere else other than here.
Yeah, and I feel like we are spoiled because it's like Austin City Limits happens every October, 2 weekends a month, and then like there's so many festivals in the United States that we can fly to. Whereas like Brazil, that's why everybody on YouTube is always like, "Come to Brazil, come to Brazil."
They campaign. They campaign for their bitches.
They work for it. So in that sense, we're the VIP Platinum, in our country going to like another place where they don't really go all the time.
Yeah, so yeah, no. That's definitely my goal before I die is to make it to South America because those crowds,
I want to.
Man.
I really want to.
they
How
sing it
was-
louder than you.
How was the festival you went to in Mexico?
Okay, so that's such a weird festival because it's Corona Capital,
Mm-hmm.
Corona Capital, for the Latins.
For the Latinos.
But it's really interesting because it's a festival that doesn't have any Mexican artists. It's all international artists that go to it, and they price it like Coachella. If I'm being honest, because like that 3-day pass was like about what a Coachella price costs.
Damn.
But it was insane the amount of like international people around me. Like it felt like it was a split, like 50-50 foreigners, 50-50 like people within like Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, no, it was crazy. It was a crazy set. And just in general, the vibes were immaculate,
Mm-hmm.
like truly immaculate. So I do definitely recommend anyone to go to that festival. The lineups get really interesting in terms of year by year. Like 2 years ago, headliners were like Paramore, MCR. Last year, it was like Pulp and Blur, like indie Britpop. So it was just very interesting in terms of like how distinct the lineups get between year and year. But it was great. I recommend it. And you have like Mexico City to explore.
I know. I kind of want to go, and I'm like, can I get a Latina discount?
I mean, apply for your citizenship.
Okay. Listen, we're here. No, that's awesome, and I think festivals are just it's really fun to just share that with people. Me and you, like we've been to so many festivals together.
Oh yeah.
Girl, I've even like I've gone with you as like a participant. I've like volunteered at a festival with you. I feel like we've gone in like different capacities.
Yeah.
What is like one of your most like, I don't know, what is your most like emotional experience going to like a festival or a concert?
Okay. That's an easy one because I still dread upon it, but it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Lord in Amsterdam
Mm-hmm.
was the most emotional time I've ever had at a show. Melodrama was a tour that I missed, so this was like my catch up. I only saw her at ACO 2014. I had ditched all my friends,
Yeah.
barricaded, and like saw her there, which was like her last show of the Royals tour.
Mm.
So I had missed out on a lot, and I had a lot of my own personal drama attached to the album. So to see her in Amsterdam for her solar power tour, and just like sit with all of my emotions, and it was like such a dreary day in Amsterdam,
Yeah.
like misty, overcast. So yeah, the minute Liability came on, just broke down, completely broke down. I had like a really good friend with me, and like just sobbed into his arms, and like I let go of everything that I possibly could have at that moment. Um, and yeah, like it was great. It was an emotional moment, but it was a great moment because it just was such an emotional release. And then I got to party to see her in Barcelona because it was like right afterwards.
I love that you said it was like an emotional release. I love music. Not me calling myself an empath, but like I feel like music, like it really dictates my vibe.
Yeah.
Like in the mornings, like I listen to like a morning like mantras and manifestation playlist, like music that gets me up and going. If I like am in a moody mood, I'll listen to that. If I'm wanting to go out with my girls or my friends, like I'll listen to like a hype playlist with some like Megan the Stallion and stuff like that. But it's so true that like music is a form of therapy and it helps release like
Yeah.
things from your body. And like this is an inherently gay podcast. It's very queer coded, and if you are queer and you haven't cried to Melodrama by Lord, like girl, it's canon. Like it just happened. You have to go through it.
We don't decide this. It just happens to you.
Okay, we didn't ask to be born Latina. Okay, but yeah, no, that's so true. And for me, like I think I have like there's two really emotional experiences that I can think of. The first one was when I was in Chicago. I went to Lady Gaga. I went to the Chromatica World Tour with one of my best friends, and I love Gaga. Like I'm not like a huge monster. Like no shade or anything like that. Like I just like I liked her music, but I never really got into her like as a lot of my other friends. But I think I like had just gotten over a breakup. I went with my friend, and she was doing one song that was like stripped down, and she was talking about how she felt writing it and how she was in such a bad place looking for hope. And it was giving very much like we found love in a hopeless place. Like she was writing about that song, and then she sang it very acoustically, stripped down. And I'm thinking about my breakup and how I'm like trying to move on in the back of my head. And then I just start crying, and like I think it was such an emotional experience, and I'm so glad I got to like have that and witness that like with my best friend. And it was amazing. And then the other one is obviously like Florence and the Machine.
Icon.
She's one of my
Queen,
favorite
mother,
ethereal goddess. Like she is not of this realm.
I'll join her cult.
Okay, exactly. Like she's a fairy queen. I always cry. Like I've seen her like so many times, and every time it just feels like I'm dumping out like baggage and emotion that I'm holding onto. And she's just such good energy. And like I've gone to her show so many times, like by myself, with friends, with groups, with family. And like I love her music, and it's always so emotional for me.
And she puts on such a great show.
Yeah.
I saw her right after Harry Styles here in Austin. And it made such a stark difference between how bad Harry Styles' show was and how good Florence and the Machine show was. Because she was able to physically connect with her audience. She ran a lap around the entire stadium.
Got me getting my steps in.
She got her steps in. She was touching people's faces. Like, and she was one with the crowd.
And she would like go up and sing to people. And like one of my favorite things about Florence and the Machine, and a couple of artists and like other concerts I've been to do this as well, there's always a part of the concert where they tell the audience to put their phones away and put your phones down. I freaking love that because, we're always on our phone as people who are like, obsessed with social media and like being online today with like everybody. I love that the artist was just like, hey, everybody put your phone down. Look at the people next to you, focus on being present, and let's just enjoy this music. And then for the rest of the set, you can like record and take all that. But for this, let's keep this,
between you and I.
Sacred between you and I. This is something just for us.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, have you ever been to a show where they've done that?
Yeah, no. I mean, Florence, when she did it, and she did it on like a very popular song. Was it Dog Days, I think?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, she was like, first verse, phones away.
Yeah.
And now, phones out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just And I get it. Like, there's people who just want to like chronicleize it and archive it and like keep it for themselves. But like, think about the art experience. There's sometimes like everyone has a phone in their face.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I also want. I'm like not to be like self righteous or anything, but like they needed experience too.
Okay, listen, and I love that too. Like as someone who didn't get to go to a concert, so like this year I didn't get to go to the Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah,
But girl, if I went on TikTok, there were so many people live streaming that whole
yeah.
concert. Like I was in bed
Hmm.
in like June watching the concert in like Chicago because I was like, oh, everybody's live streaming it. So I think it's really cool. Like if you don't get to go, you get to see it from home.
Yeah,
But I think like when you're there, like yeah, record, have fun, whatever, but take some time to just like be present and
present.
like, give yourself that like reward of getting to go to that concert, spending time there and just being present.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. I think as I'm getting older, I think when I was younger, definitely like I would record a bunch and like be on my phone. And as I'm older,
yeah,
and honestly, like I don't even have the energy anymore. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna record a little bit. Like I'm gonna take videos, I'm gonna take selfies. Like I'm gonna
hmm,
record my favorite songs and stuff like that.
yeah,
But I'm also gonna take time to just like enjoy being there and being present and stuff.
yeah. No, I mean, because at the end of the day, like you paid money to be at a show, and yeah, you want to remember it, but like the memories that you have within yourself
Hmm.
without a camera or someone else's camera in your face.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Some of my favorite memories are only able to be seen through my face. I mean, through my eyes.
Do you remember that one episode of Black Mirror? There was like a weird episode of Black Mirror where like the contacts recorded stuff and you can always
Oh,
I wish that existed, but I'm also like really scared and like terrified of like technology and that actually happening. But yeah,
will the
I
quality be great though in our day and age?
girl, with my astigmatism, I can't even see like 20 feet away.
Yeah.
So my camera video like footage would be bad anyways. But um
Maybe our kids will have that.
it's giving very like turbo Alexa. But okay, so what festivals or what artists have you seen the most? So like I kind of mentioned that like Florence and the Machine is like one of my favorite artists.
Hmm.
I've seen her maybe like 5 times. Like I love her. I've also seen Paramore so many times. Like those are my like top two artists. I've seen
Yeah.
so many.
Yeah.
Who like what concerts have you seen the most or what others?
You know, weirdly enough, Cage the Elephant.
Okay.
Cage the Elephant I've seen over 13 times. It is not because, I mean, they're great. They're such a great band, and I'm so excited. They were just announced for, I think, Bonnaroo this year. So
Mhm.
fingers crossed, they're at ACL or any other festival that I end up at this year. But they were just like raw dogging
Yeah.
show after show after show, festival after festival, like throughout, early 2010s through like 2017. They were in Texas like 4 times in a year. So it wasn't necessarily because I was trying to go see Cage the Elephant, but it's a testament to how great their show is. They
Mm.
bring so much energy. They're like always at 1,000 on that stage, and it was always a no brainer to go see them if they were on a lineup or if they were an opener or if they were headlining. So that's my answer.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so like that kind of makes me think of like what's been the best performance or production of a show you've seen. Like I know you said that they put on a really good show. Like which
Yeah.
one is what's like a
Oh,
really good strong performance? Someone that you were surprised and gagged by of like, "Oh, I didn't think they would have a good show, but that was a really good show."
oh, that's hard. Man, you're really on the spot right now. I don't know. I mean, I always expect a great show from Beyonce.
Okay.
Always. Because that's her work ethic speaks for itself. But I was able to see her during her self titled.
Mhm.
And man, never in my life have I felt more integrated into a person and a crowd. And thankfully, like, I was like on the floor, Houston no less, at
Mhm.
Toyota Center. And like, it was one of the best shows of my life,
Okay.
which is why I'm so sad that I missed Renaissance.
Renaissance was life-changing. Like it's only before Renaissance and after Renaissance for me. Like it was amazing and I'm so happy I got to share that like with my brother and we were like up close and like
Yeah.
front row. Like I felt like she was serenading me. Um
She was.
but I think for my like obviously yes, love Beyonce. Like she is, the queen of America, that's gonna go down. But I think for me, one of the concerts that I was actually surprised by was Jessie Ware.
Oh, okay.
Her production was like one. I love her music.
Yeah.
But two, the way she kind of had the stage production and like people were performing and her
Yeah.
dancers, it was very like Vogue ball esque, and like her
Yeah.
dancers were they were putting on a really good show, and she
Mhm.
the way she just incorporated them and had them move on the stage and interact with her and the audience, I was really surprised. Like I liked her music, but I didn't think I would like be blown away by her performance, and
Yeah.
it was really really amazing.
Man, wish I was there.
It was in yeah. Well, again, it was at that Primavera Festival in Barcelona,
Oh,
so we had to kind of like choose
yeah.
like who were you seeing. So I left MIA to go watch her a little bit,
Yeah. I
and
went
that.
to the Smile.
Okay,
I needed to see the Smile.
okay, and then I guess last question is who do you want to see in the future? Who are you hoping to see? You know, dream list, dream rotation. Who would you love to see?
Oh,
Give
that's
me three people.
3 people. Oh my God, this is so hard. Okay, I did say Coldplay, so I have to stick to
Okay,
that.
Coldplay.
Um, am I allowed a time machine? No, let's not. Let's not go
No,
there. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Okay. Okay.
they have to have a heartbeat and a pulse.
Okay. I need to see Radiohead
Okay.
because I saw them in 2017 and I don't remember it, and that's one of the greatest regrets in my life.
Okay.
So I need to see Radiohead. I need to see Coldplay. I need to see. I have to see Lord again.
Lord. Okay, that's a solid. I would
Yeah.
love to see Lord again.
I used to say Paramore because I had never seen Paramore in my life,
Hmm.
and then I saw them 3 times in less than a year. So
It's good. Yeah, no, that's those are solid choices. Paramore, Radiohead, and Lord.
yeah.
That's dope. I would do that. For me, oh, first one, high heels on my tippies.
Oh my God.
I'm Barb through and through. Like I listened to her. I was a Nicki Minaj fan in ninth grade in high school. In 2009, when I was like writing her lyrics down in
Mhm.
my notebook
Mhm.
to memorize them, to Itty Bitty Piggy and all that. So I would love to see Nicki Minaj. I know she's going on tour
Yeah.
for Pink Friday too. Um, I would also, if we're talking about dream wish lists, I've seen Rihanna before,
Yeah.
but I need I need Miss Mama to like put out new music.
Okay, Navy.
I know she's only like doing makeup right now and she's living her best life with her children and ASAP, but I would love to see her just listen to new music. I wouldn't even see her.
Yeah.
I would be happy if she just put out new music.
Yeah.
It could even be on SoundCloud, whatever. Um so Nicki, Rihanna, already said Beyonce. I've already seen Beyonce, and I would always see her again. But I think thirdly, I would want to see. Oh, I'm really interested in Chapel Rowan right now. She
Bonnaroo.
I discovered her this past year, and her album has become one of my favorite albums of this year. I think she's gonna blow up. I
Oh
think
yeah.
she's only gonna get so much bigger. She's going on tour with Olivia Rodrigo,
Yeah.
and yeah, her music is so good. I would love to see Chapel. Yeah, she's gonna be definitely a fave
Okay.
coming up. Yeah, icon in the making.
I love that.
Icon in the making.
I love that. I want to redact one of my answers.
Okay, okay.
We're taking my last answer and replacing it with Boy Genius.
Ooh, slay. Okay.
Because not only am I in a band right now that covers Boy Genius songs,
Mhm.
but I did not get a chance to see them last year. So
Okay.
they're definitely on my top list. And you just never know. Like, they're a super group. They might break up at one point or another. So I need to get in when I can.
They're nominated for a Grammy too, so they might just, they're gonna get only bigger and bigger. But yeah, who knows? It's 2024. Who knows what's gonna come down the pipeline? We have
Yeah.
12 months worth of potential, number one albums. I am excited for the end of this year. And hearing my Spotify Wrapped and seeing, all of the new albums that are gonna come out, who I listen to the most. I've been in my Hosier era recently, so I've been listening to a lot of them. But yeah, I'm excited to see, all of the new music that comes out this year, all of my favorite albums. But thank you for coming on the podcast
Oh,
today.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, I love you. I love music, and I love that we got to talk about festivals and music and artists, because music really is a language that really transcends, like, cultures and borders and everything. Like we were saying, like, we could go to a festival in Singapore and everybody can love that same artist and everybody
Yeah.
can have an affinity for someone. So I just love that, music is healing. It translates and translates over other languages and barriers. So I'm excited to see what comes down the pipeline. All right, well, thanks, Melina, for coming on the podcast today. I love you. Thank you for stopping by. Where can everybody find you at?
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram. My handle is at Melina Bravo. And then I also link on there where I put all of my concert footage.
Yes, go follow this queen. That way, you know where she's off to next, what concert festival she'll be at. Thank y'all guys for listening as well. My name is Justin Dallas. You can find me on Instagram at Justin Dallas, and you can follow the pod at Inherently Gay on Instagram and Inherently Gay on TikTok. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week.